Hey guys, it's Rainer HKB Studios here, and today I'm bringing you finally the much anticipated for by all 500 of my subscribers and 30 viewers, my submachine gun video on Advanced Warfare. This is basically tips for submachine guns, a review of all of them, and which ones to use. So I'm going to start off with the first one you unlock, the KF5. This thing is not a bad gun, to be honest. I'd say it's one of the sort of better SMGs. The only problem I have with this gun is the accuracy. I'm not a huge fan of. The recoil, the iron sights, I'm not a huge fan of, and the damage I'm not a huge fan of. So but it's only just a tiny bit under what I'd want. So it's only a little bit worse than something I'd want to use. So if you prefer that, if your personal preference just like something with a high fire rate, then go ahead and use this, especially because it's very good at long range if you put an iron sight on it, such as especially a long range iron sight. So there's that. And then we have the MP11. It has the best in class mobility, which basically means it's useless. So mobility is not something a lot of people are most dependent about when picking a weapon, because although you do want a good mobility, you don't want to sabotage your damage and range and things. And I find this gun to be pretty useless. I'm going to be honest. This is probably the worst SMG there is in the game. I do not recommend using this at all. Then we have the ASM1, which is what I believe is the new Vector. It's not as overpowered as the Vector from Ghosts. However, I do think this is the Vector, the MSMC, basically the gun that people are going to use in competitive and in public matches. It's got a very good damage. It's got a good fire rate. The only problem is the recoil is a bit much. However, the recoil is straight vertical and the range is a bit of a problem. Then we've got the SN6, which as you can see, it fires the first 3 rounds of burst fire faster, and I do quite like the way this gun feels. However, the only problem I'm having with this is the damage. I'm not a huge fan of the damage. It doesn't kill fast enough for me, which is why I'd recommend, if you've got a burst rifle, I'll show you what to use instead. I recommend using this one instead. But anyway, we'll get on to that. So then we've got the SAC3. This can only be wielded akimbo, and it reminds me quite much of the Scorpion dual wield from Black Ops 1, the primary weapon. It's very strong at close range. However, the range drops off very quickly. It's not nearly as long range as the Scorpion was from Black Ops 1. So it's got a very high fire rate, so it's quite uncontrollable, but it does do quite a lot of damage at close range. And then finally we've got the AMR9. The thing I love about this gun is the fact that it has almost no recoil. It's a 5-round burst as well, compared to the 3-round burst of the SN6. And the thing that's sort of better about the SN6 is the fire rate. It fires slightly faster. However, I found the AMR9 to have a much more controllable recoil. Although, again, the problem is it doesn't do enough damage. I really do not recommend using either of the burst SMGs, because they just don't do enough damage for an SMG. However, if you unlock the custom version of the AMR9 with the extra damage, I do recommend using that, because it would be a beastly weapon. So I recommend the ASM1. Here's my recommended SMG class. I've got the primary gunfighter wildcard, so I've got the quick draw, because I find that this weapon draws very slowly, the advanced rifling to compensate for the bad range, and the foregrip to compensate for the recoil. I don't need a secondary. I don't usually use secondaries with SMGs. And then I've got either lightweight or low profile, whichever you prefer. I like lightweight with SMGs because it gives me the mobility I need. Low profile is very good on public matches, however. So it allows you to get around the map without being seen, especially these early days when everyone's using UAVs to discover the maps. No perk 2, as you've seen in my AR video. Toughness and Blast Suppressor, 2 essential perks. Exo Overclock, it really helps, especially in objective game modes such as CTF and Domination, where you need to rush those points, and it really helps. I'm really a huge fan of that. And as the kill streaks, I've got the UAV with the extra time add-on, the Orbital Care Package with the double tap add-on, and the Goliath without any add-ons. The Goliath sometimes I do use with a trophy system. It's very helpful to have a trophy, because its biggest weakness is grenades. So that's basically my class. If you haven't seen the AR video, go check it out. If you haven't seen my gameplay videos, go check them out, and subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed. I'm out. Peace.